The biggest response that you get on why auctions won't do something new is this is the way we've always done. And the other one is we're too busy to improve. And that's the worst thing. Today's show was about getting everybody together and actually giving their honest feedback about, the whole process.
It's been amazing. I can't even tell you how much organization and easiness it's brought to the staff and I. So it's been really good.
When you take on new technology, your dealers are going to reflect your comfort level. So if you have technology and you're not comfortable with it, they're not going to receive it.
We took the program and we brought it inside the auction and we mastered it and we made it ours and we know it from front to back and everyone was using it. It was basically like, here's what we're going to use. It wasn't, I'd like you to use it. It's like, here's what we're going to do, guys. And the staff learned it. And then now we can work with the dealers and bring them in on it.
The other thing you want to know is, where am I losing money? Right? Because when you have outdated workflow, so many things are falling through the cracks. Seal those cracks, and then if you want to drive your business into the online platforms, how are you going to be able to scale if your local business isn't able to sustain itself? Our team is monitoring the lanes and making sure that if you're having trouble getting on, somebody from our team is reaching out to you.
Oh, that's
We're
cool.
reaching out to the auction on your behalf.
Wow.
We're trying to make sure that the customers stay with the auction. It's too easy if you're on a platform, like if you're on Edge Pipeline, right? You have a whole bunch of auctions in front of you. You have a lineup of all the auctions that are happening that day. We don't want you to say, hey, couldn't get into this one. Let me just jump over to that one. So it's about customer retention. What's the value of retaining that customer?
There was one day, I would say about a month ago, where we had technical difficulties. No one could get into the sale on simulcast. The bidders were being rejected. Kelly was on the phone with me faster than I could realize what was happening because the girls in the front office were trying to handle it themselves. And she's like, I'm already on it. And she had reached out to all these bidders that couldn't get on and said, hey, we're having technical difficulties. We'll let you know when we get back on. There is no way that my staff and I could have done that because we're waiting on customers at the counter. We're sitting on a help desk trying to get help from the computer company. And I'm panicking like, oh my gosh, we're not going to have a sale. Nobody can get online. And Kelly text everybody, sent out emails saying, okay, everything's great, sign back in, you won't have any issues. And it was that easy. We would have had to look up numbers, we would have had to call there would have been just no way we could have done that. We would have lost dealers that day who thought, well, I can't get in, I'm now sidetracked and I've moved on.
Whoa, that is nuts. Kelly.
Running around with a fire hose,
it's not
just
just
putting
me,
out fires. That's awesome.
I have a team and we have a backup call center. We're equipped. We're equipped for auctions to be able to scale. And if you're working with technology, you're going to have problems. That's, you can't expect everything to run smoothly every day. So you have to have some type of crisis response system in place so that you don't lose all of those customers. And most auctions don't, the majority of auctions don't have that in place. What Carrie's done differently is said, you know what, we are going to transform our entire operation into digital communication and digital workflow. And, we're going to grow from that. And so in doing that and getting the whole team acclimated and seeing this process and watching all of this work around every different department, Carrie has oversight over everything from a single screen. Which, gives her the ability to make faster decisions. What did your process used to look like? What does your process look now? And what are your thoughts on the change?
Sure. So when I started with the auction in September, there was a group text message in place. So the outside sales rep would text everybody at the auction. Okay, I have this dealer. He has 6 cars. They need picked up. This car and this car need recon, this car needs extra recon, and it would go on from there. So when I joined the group, I was like, okay, this is very overwhelming. And it was
just say I exited the group.
Yeah, I did. I was like, Carrie, this is
Imagine ding,
too
ding,
much.
ding. Ding, 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 all day long. Oh my word.
All day. And then going back through 75 texts to find, wait,
Oh,
what did
one
that
car.
one dealer want?
You start throwing screenshots in there.
I'm like, get a new group and leave me out.
Okay, let's try something new. We went from a group text to a Google Doc. And this way, at least it wasn't constant notifications. And then we would just plop in the dealer and how many cars they needed. And then at the end of the year, that December, I think Kelly came to visit in December. And she's like, this is what I can offer you guys. And she walked us through the AuctionVcommerce. And ever since, it's been an extremely smooth process. I go into a dealership. He says, okay, I have 3 cars for you. I pull out my phone. I say, all right, let's do this. And I go into the consignment. I can add transportation, recon, inspections, all from one screen on my phone.
Like I can have it on my what we call a dashboard or on my laptop, or you just all phone. Look at Carrie. Jay, put Carrie on.
What's Carrie doing? Oh,
Carrie's got the phone. She's showing us the phone app.
wow.
Look at it.
Nice.
So you can,
Bam.
yeah, and I can add in how many the dealer wants. I can add in the recon. I can say they want a CR. And then keep in mind, we've got these we've got the digital dashboard up on and monitors in each department or on our desktops. And each department is seeing what's coming in so they can plan the employees that we're going to need. We know what kind of a day it's going to be as things are coming in, not waiting for Becca to tell Suzanne to tell JY to let Clarence know they need. I mean, before we were telling everybody and paper was going around and then if you catch somebody in the middle of something, they're like, oh my gosh, I dropped the ball. I forgot that Becca told me that in the hallway. And that's not happening now because now we all share, we can look at our dashboard. The little arrow goes from, okay, it's in transportation. Then Clarence goes in and says, it's here. So that little arrow moves to the next service, which is like, let's say recon. So then I know that vehicle's in recon. So if Joe Smith calls and says, hey, where's my car? I can say, well, it's in recon. I don't see a CR. Well, that's because it's in recon. It's headed to CR next. And then that little arrow, when recon's done, they're pushing done and it's moving down. So everyone knows where every car is without calling 6 people.
We all have access to that information. And it's as simple as when Carrie and I are on the phone, if I'm on the road and she says, hey, what do you think we're looking for lanes this week? Do we need 1 lane? Do we need 2 lanes? What are we thinking? Okay, let me look. And I'm seeing the same information she's seeing. So we can both have that conversation and it's not a one-sided or one person's making the decision.
And who else can see it? The customer. So it's about transparency. So if the customers were to submit a request or something through the app, they also have their own little dashboard and they see the arrow move from transportation to recon, inspection, wherever it is in the process.
Wow. I think we have Suzanne with us. Suzanne, can you hear us?
I'm here.
She's here.
Hey.
Yeah, Suzanne's here. Suzanne, please say hello and tell us more about what you do.
Hello, everybody. I am dealer support, dealer registration. I also do some transportation. I'll put that in as well. Consignment as far as getting the dealers in. So wear a few little hats, but yeah. And I will have to say, before I go too much further, working with this and AuctionVcommerce has been nothing but a joy for all of us, I believe, because it's really helped us streamline things and to really pull everything together a lot more smoothly.
It's really hard for things to slip through the crack because you can see it on a gigantic monitor in your department. So it's hard to say like, oh, I missed that when it's written on the wall.
You put it right in the app. If you need something picked up, you need something delivered, you want to pay for something, or perhaps maybe you just, your car's there, but you need to have something done with it with recon, like a full recon or a failed day wash or just whatever they need to have done to it.
I think post-sale too. Let's talk about post-sale inspections. Those are timed services. They only have so long to do it. And if we get tied up or we are at the counter or we get that customer in front of us and we can't make it to the phones, I mean, people would call and say, well, I tried calling. Well, that's not the case anymore now. Go to your app, choose post-sale inspection, and it automatically comes up on our dashboard. And then it's time stamped. So, I mean, there's absolutely no reason that anybody can say they can't get in touch with us anymore.
Or even like they'll leave voicemails with, hey, I need my cards in post sale and we'll get it at 4:30 before we leave. So it's really about help us better help you.
Suzanne, can you give a quick comparison of what your job was like before and what it's like now?
Oh, gosh, yes. There was much more paperwork involved, too many hands in the process. So, in other words, I talked to this dealer and he needs this car picked up, but this dealer called back and now he needs something else done with it, and he gets a different person on the phone. And so the guys in recon, the guys in transportation, they're having 2 or 3 of us run back there, getting up from our desks, running back there, saying, can you pick this car up? No, when you get it here, it needs to have XYZ done to it. Now we go into the app. We say one person goes into the app, whether it's myself or Tiffany or Becca, so it's much more streamlined, less confusion, less paperwork, and the whole thing just runs so much smoother than it used to.
If you look at where the cracks are, the biggest cracks are in communication. And anything that you say after that is really boils down to a communication issue. It should be unnecessary to have people call in, and people think, well, when they call in, they get to talk to us, and that's a good thing, but it's not for the customer. Most of the customers in these cases are business owners. They're trying to sell cars over here at their dealerships. They're trying to get on with their business. Them having to try and call and reach somebody at an auction takes away from their opportunity to make money.
That is exactly how transportation works, is that we get lost in the thought that this is the only thing in their life. But it's not. By any means is it the only thing in their life to deal with at that time. So you have to take away the heavy lifting.
Being a better partner for your customer means taking their time into consideration. The before and after, Tiffany.
It's a lot smoother now, let's just say, because like if I needed something picked up, I'd have to run down and I'd talk to Clarence, or then I'd have to go down to the shop, and you know what I mean? Just it gave me my time back. I mean, so I don't have to constantly search the lot looking for someone and saying, hey, this needs a pre-sale and we need to clean it, and they can see it on the board. So it gives me my time back to get a hold of those transporters, to call those lease customers, to follow up and make sure pictures are accurate before cars get put online. It just gives me more time back instead of racing around and finding people.
And who wants to talk about Clarence? Carrie,
with the flip phone. There we go. There's Clarence.
That's
look
Clarence.
at that.
And with his flip phone.
Introduce him?
And there's his screen. Look at the flip phone.
Clarence and I have worked together almost 20 years. And so he he's come so far. I mean, he really literally barely knew how to use that flip phone, and to text, oh, forget it. So when I presented this program, he was like, what? And I'm like, oh, you're going to use it. And honestly, I would say that out of all of us, Clarence probably uses it the most, because everything starts in transportation. So there it is, bigger than life, and he's using it, and he still has his flip phone.
Well, he catches things that if we've made an error, he's like, wait, is this right? And I mean, he'll catch our errors because he looks really thorough.
He's like a hawk.
Yeah, if Clarence can do it, anybody can.
And the other thing is, didn't you guys tell me that Clarence, before, you guys would print the sheets out at the desk and run them down to Clarence, and now that's changed?
Right. We would, the girls would print out his transportation, the stickers, and they would post them, put them on his desk, and then he would set them up taped to the wall, like Kelly said it earlier. And now he is self-sufficient and he is moving right along. And like I said, he utilizes the program a lot more than the rest of us, I think. I don't even think we touched on, I mean, arbitration that leads to possibly inherited vehicle where the auction has to buy the vehicle back. And before it was off of memory and it was sitting in an accounting program on the computer. And then you have to remember that the ARB manager told you that we had to put this amount of money into the buyback. And it was all in memory or written down. And now it's organized on this dashboard that we own this car. This is what we've put into it. This is how much we paid for it. And now let's resell it. And it's clearly right there. So that's also really big because things do happen and auctions do have to purchase vehicles. And now it's not off memory. Like, oh gosh, don't forget we had to diag that, or we had transportation involved, or it's all written right out in front of us. So I can see what the loss is.
And the number system, you guys had a spreadsheet to track the numbers, right? And now we've built that all into the system too. So that's centralized. So whenever somebody takes in a consignment request, it automatically shoots those numbers on a shared dashboard of collecting the run numbers. So
right, we used to highlight those as soon as we placed them in the sale, highlighted, it was done. We no longer need highlighters. Seeing the money we're saving.
Yeah.
I wanna
see that office supply bill at the end of the year.
No more papers, no more pens, no more highlighters.
Oh yeah, the Office Depot guy's depressed.
Yeah, that alone ought to pay for your AuctionVcommerce account. Just the savings in markers and postage.
Dude.
Think about it.
Think about.
I mean, that people don't realize that adds up. That's a huge. I mean, they really a lot of paper, a lot of everything. That's crazy. See, I love what Kelly's got here. This is really. I mean, this is so. In the point, there's two things. My two big takeaways. It was at the very beginning when Kelly talked about the team getting on board before. Well, the way you worded that was just beautiful. Could you say that again?
If you don't know your own technology, if you're not comfortable with your own technology, your customers aren't going to be. And that's with online customers, your whole objective is to build a relationship through building that comfort level. That's hard to do when they can't even get a hold of you, or you don't give them options that meet their comfort level. And you don't have to decide whether you want to be a digital auction or a physical brick and mortar auction. You have to give customers options and you have to let them choose. If you look into any lane, you'll see a bunch of people standing around like this. They all have their phones in front of their face. I mean, that's the society we live in. And you can't fight change. How many Amazon Prime members are here on this call?
Oh yeah, everybody.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's
absolutely.
If you were to ask a lane full of dealers, how many Amazon Prime members are in this lane? I guarantee you they're going to raise their hand. What that tells us. By the way, when we first trained, Carrie said, "When are you coming back for training?" And I said,
just going to say that.
Who taught you how to use Amazon?
You said, did an Amazon rep come to your house and show you how to use this? No, we just navigated through it. And she's like, and you will with this also. It's that easy. And literally, there are no truer words. Yes, it was that easy.
I love it.
And that's really what it boils down to, is you have to have confidence, because, you know, I talk about the comfort level with your customers. Give them credit. They have to navigate through these things all the time. When you walk into a Panera and there's no one at the counter, or you go to Walmart or any place now that has a self-checkout, you know, that line is filled with people of all ages and, you know, disciplines. So you want to give your customers a little bit of credit. It's about convenience.
Yeah. So the first one is everybody in the team has to embrace the technology, get behind the technology, and mirror. Yes. And I can clearly see, which I'm really thankful, by the way, thankful that you put this show together, and thankful for Carrie, that we know Carrie already and we got to meet Carrie's team. But to see them and listen to them talk about how this has really revolutionized their auction, and Erie, Pennsylvania. Like I can feel it coming through the screen. I mean, everybody seems just really super excited. So then the next big takeaway for me, I'm going to shut up after this one, was I didn't even think about the dealers that are there using it while they're there. That makes so much sense.
Like a kiosk,
Wow.
right?
Right. Why
That is
wait in line?
amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
You no
and
longer
that's
have
the
to
great,
wait in
yeah.
line.
You get those guys when they come up and okay, hey, you want to stop waiting in line? Let me show you. Grab your phone, download this app, and go. I can't think of any dealer that, I mean, I don't know, dealers hate standing in line. That's beautiful. So that was really cool. Those are my two big takeaways.
So that's good because we're on final thoughts now. We're on final
okay.
thoughts.
Great.
Ty just went with final thoughts. You're
Went
allowed
first.
more than one final thought.
Yeah.
Who would like to go next?
So the final thought was, as a smaller auction, people probably want to know why I would choose a program like this. And I will say, because we are a smaller auction, we wear a lot of different hats, as you heard the girls say. And this literally is kept track and added, enhanced, assisted. It's really made things a lot easier for us. Imagine what it could do at a big auction.
Wow.
Yeah, powerful.
That's great. That is good.
That is.
I think it's kind of cool. For my final thought is it is almost like a virtual employee, and we talked about that when we brought it in, and Carrie brought it up too, that when we were having trouble online and we're all trying to get ready for the sale. I mean, Carrie was like, oh my gosh, and Kelly texted her, she's like, I got this, I already sent him out, it's good, well, we're up and running in a minute. And Carrie's like, what, really? Like, it's so nice to have somebody that's and watching our sale throughout. So if there is an issue and we're on the block and we can't get to it, or hold on the phone for someone to help us, she's already ahead of the game, so we're not behind the ball. So it's nice to have almost, her team there to back us up for, anything that comes our way.
I mean, and Kelly's even called it your digital auction assistant. And that's what it is. It's like an extra person. And Kelly really has thought of it all with the AuctionVcommerce, down to, I've been in a dealership and I was getting keys so that we could pick up cars. A dealer that we'd already gotten consignment from, I didn't have a business card with me because I've already talked to him several times, and he goes, hey, do you have a business card? And I was like, oh, wait. Pulled up my AuctionVcommerce app and I have my QR code. He scanned it and instantly put me into his contacts in his phone.
Oh, wow.
Kelly has thought of it
Smart,
all.
Kelly. That is
Good
smart.
job, Kelly.
I used that option at the conference. It was, yeah.
Wow.
I think I'd run out in the evening and obviously didn't bring business cards, and someone asked me, and she's like, show them your app. And so they scanned it, and there you go.
Wow.
And the
That is so
emails,
cool.
that's another thing that all the auctions like to, send out an email before the sale, an OVE or, post-sale email for your no sales. And these guys use that regularly as well.
Absolutely. We're reaching everyone. She used to do them ourselves, and they were makeshift.
Time
to thousands
consuming.
of people, not just 100, to thousands of different people.
Yeah. Hey, Becca, you want to do
Take the
sales,
picture.
marketing, and emails this week?
We need somebody for emails.
Our
Hey.
email process is so much smoother now.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
my word. That's amazing.
Suzanne, we don't want to miss your final thought. You got something to add?
Well, you know what? I was thinking as I was listening to all the other girls talk, and the one thing that keeps coming to mind is the ease of use and the streamlining. I mean, when we had to learn, and I hate to put we had to learn, when we started to learn AuctionVcommerce, we all just pitched in together. And what one person knew, we taught to the next person. Or if something needed tweaked, Kelly was a phone call away. And I mean, when I say a phone call away, she answered that phone when you called her. She talked to you about what you were trying to do. She stayed with you on the line. And she fixed it. She got right into the program, and she fixed it. So it's auction specific to our auction. Not that other auctions don't use the same things that we do, but she also makes it auction specific to your auction, to what's going to work best for you. And it's really been a pleasure to work with. I mean, I'm very pleased that we're using this.
I always tell the auctions, you know, and everybody that's on the team, the minute you run into something that delays your progress, you call, text, email me, and I'm going to try and get that out of your way. I'm not here to cause you problems. You know, that's not what partners do. In a world where people constantly overpromise and underdeliver, you have to be the one that underpromises and overdelivers. And so that's my mindset.
Well, I think you're killing it, Kelly. And I'm really, really loving the AuctionVcommerce.
My final thought is thank you so much, everybody, for your time. We know that, you know, wherever you are right now, you're taking your personal time to share this information, participate in this show, and I really, really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Good show.
Thank
Amazing
you, guys.
show.
Thank you.